Carried out 9 strikes against Islamic State in Syria and Iraq in the last 2 days. As Turkey considers its next steps, Israel's warning that Iran poses a greater threat than Islamic State. Joining me right here to discuss, Ambassador Idar Aharoni, Consul General of Israel here in New York. Ambassador, good to have you back on the program.
It's good to be back.
Prime Minister Netanyahu is urging the U.S. and the UN right now to focus on the Iranian nuclear threat as really being the primary threat and not be distracted by other issues, specifically Islamic State. Why is it that Iran is the bigger threat right now in Israel's view than Islamic State?
Well, we never took lightly the threat posed by Islamic militants. We believe that radical Islamism used by a terrorist organization to achieve political goals is a major threat to Western civilization and in the first place to their own societies. However, we do see the fact that Iran is not deserting its nuclear ambitions as a huge problem, not just for Israel. We happen to be in that neighborhood. We happen to be there physically. But we think, and we haven't changed our position, that the idea of allowing Iran, the #1 instigator of terrorism in this world today, to gain access to uranium enrichment on their way to achieve nuclear military capabilities is a bad idea, and the Western civilization simply doesn't have the luxury of allowing Iran to enrich uranium.
But isn't Islamic State equally a threat to Israel right now?
You know, regardless, all groups that advocate this radical ideology that talks about Islamic rule, and they're practically offering nothing to their own people. They're offering no future to the peoples of the region. They'd like to drag us all back to the 7th century. We believe that they pose a serious threat in the first place to the peoples of the region.
Turkey has been criticized for its initial resistance in terms of getting involved in the fight against Islamic State. Would it be significant? What do you see as the significance of, and should Turkey decide to join the coalition that's being led by the U.S.?
Well, I think Prime Minister Netanyahu made it very clear. We don't really see a fundamental difference between all the groups that advocate Islamic rule. It's true that Hamas is not 100% identical to ISIS, but at the end of the day, they all come from the same school of thought. They all represent an uncompromising ideology that wants to take us all back to the Dark Ages. This is a very dangerous concept, and the world has to be united, fighting Hamas, Hezbollah, ISIS, Islamic Jihad, Al-Qaeda, the Muslim Brothers in Egypt, Boko Haram in Nigeria, Al-Shabaab in Somalia. They all come from the same school of thought.
Why is Turkey so reluctant to step in then? I mean, here they are. You've got Islamic State making these advances in the city of Kobani, which is right on their doorstep. Why not be part of this coalition?
Well, you know, I'm not in a position to answer on behalf of the Turkish government. All I can say is that our position is that we need a united international front to face this very serious threat.
You wonder how much Turkey's desire to remove Assad from power is perhaps complicating this.
Well, you know, the disintegration of the Syrian system is not helpful. Of course, we will continue to do what we did thus far, meaning we will monitor the situation very carefully and prepare for all eventuality.
Let me ask you about Sweden, because Sweden has said it plans to formally recognize the, quote, state of Palestine at some point. And they're joining alongside other countries like Bulgaria, Cyprus, Hungary, who've all said that they recognize, quote, Palestine. What is your reaction to those comments?
Well, the last 4 Israeli governments accepted the two-state solution as their official policy. The last 3 administrations in the United States accepted the two-state solution as the official policy. At the same time, the Palestinians have to understand that the road to peace goes through Jerusalem. It doesn't go through Sweden. It doesn't go through any other place. So if they want to have peace with Israel, they have to talk to us. Right now, the Palestinians have been reluctant to resume negotiations.
But are you critical at all of Sweden and other European countries for doing this?
Well, I think that it's not helpful for those organizations and countries that cooperate with the ill-conceived Palestinian strategy to try and make an appeal to international organizations in order to exert external pressure on Israel. We believe that only through direct negotiations. They have to talk to us. We're only 10 miles away. This is the distance between Ramallah and Jerusalem. They don't have to go to Sweden.
What's your reaction to the U.S.'s criticism over Israel's latest settlement plans?
Well, you know, sometimes it's okay to have differences of opinion on this issue. This is an existing community that has the natural right to expand under any future agreement, even the most, the wildest assessment on the part of the Palestinian would consider that particular area as part of Jerusalem in any future agreement.
Ambassador Aharoni, thank you very much for joining me here again.
Thank you for having me.
Good to see you. Okay, coming up next, everyone, the FDA is considering placing warning labels on premium boxes of cigars. Now the luxury tobacco market is fighting back. I'm going to speak with the CEO of Davidoff next on Street Smart.